Okay, so while trying to repair this snake and get it back in working condition, we had two challenges, two main challenges. The first one, we won't get into the details of that, but we need to change the male end on the tail end of the snake. So we're going to find the male end and change that, and hopefully record it so you could see us repairing that. Right now, though, we don't have that end, so we are now going to try to repair channel one. When we tested it earlier, we got a bad noise on there, which would suggest a poor connection. So we've connected our mic cable to, as you saw, to input one on the head of the snake, and that's this mic here. And so now number one on the tail, let's find that. 5, 4, 2, 3. Here we go. One. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Number one there. We're going to connect this to our monitor over here. Again, we've muted that channel on the monitor first, and we're going to connect it. Yeah, slightly misaligned. Let's see if we can gently adjust the connector here. Be very careful if you're doing this at home. And the hood of this is slightly deformed. So let's try that again. So yeah. So we're going to yeah. It's a little better. Let's see if once a pin, one pin, little pin there, slightly misaligned. Pin closest to the knot is also slightly misaligned. Let's try that again. There we go. Success. So we're going to unmute this channel. Oh yeah. And you hear that noise. 1, 2. Now, if you listen carefully, you might hear that we are getting the signal. Sitting on top of that signal is a lot of noise. So we are going to open the connector and see if we can see what the problem is or where the problem is. Now, just to point out that it is possible that the problem could be in here, or it could be in the line, or it could be in this connector. So let's see. Let's open this first and see. We'll zoom in so you can see it a little better. We'll remove this screw. Again, removing this screw. This screw is used to couple the hood of the connector with the internal parts of the connector. So remove that. Gently pull that back. Now, this has been worked on before, and there we go. Because this hood, you probably can't see it well in the video, but this, it's out of focus. So let's see if we can get it, see if we can get it back in focus. There we go, back in focus. So now this hood, you probably can't see it well on the video, but this hood is slightly deformed, which made getting this part, the internal part, out a little tricky. But first, we're going to look at these connectors. Open this up, pull that insulation back, and look at these connections to see if there's anything visible, obvious, that might be causing the noise that we hear. Let's check it. We have this piece that holds this cable, holds the cable, the mic cable in place, and we will peel, open that up. It's very tight on there, which I wonder if that's contributing to the noise we're hearing. Let's open that up and see. All right. So now we have open that up, peel that back. You probably can't see it closely. Looking at this, I am not seeing anything. Let's use the light. Apologies on the video, you're about to see a lot of glare as we use the light to examine this cable. Yeah, sorry, but let's get it back in. Let's get it back in. Can we get it back into focus? Yeah. Might have to edit this part out. So inspect it. Not seeing anything.
Try something. Maybe let's see if Photoshop is light if it
It's just as much glare. In fact, probably a little more because it's more of a. There's even more of a difference between the light parts and the dark parts. So there's even more glare. Now, I don't see anything, but I do see. And you probably can't see this clearly. Probably can't see this clearly on video, but I do notice I read the wire with the red insulation is sitting right on top of pin number 3, is it? The clear, no, pin number 1. So we're going to, oops. I'm going to separate that a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. Let's get it back in focus. Okay, back in focus. So we're going to separate these connectors a little bit. See if that helps. Now what I'm going to do is I'll connect this just as it is, if I can. I'll try to connect this just as it is and see if we can test it with the hood off first. We still have the mic connected to the head of the snake. And I'll zoom out so So you can see this. I'll try it. I've never done this with this kind of connector on a monitor before. There we go. So now that's connected with the hood off. I'm going to unmute. Well, so it's, as you can hear, that the noise has gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Noise is gone. We're not hearing it anymore. So that separation we created between the connectors, right between the conductors, the wires, right at the connector, seems to have solved the problem. We're going to disconnect it and fix the hood, fix the connector, put the hood back on, and hopefully it'll continue to sound nice and clear just as it is now. First, I will mute that channel. Disconnect that. Let's zoom back in so you can see what I'm doing here. So we will first move this insulation here back in place. Piece of rubber there. We'll use the lineman's pliers to put this holder. I'll spin it over again so you can see what's happening. This metal piece here is connected to the inside of the connector, and it holds this wire in place. So as the wire moves around, these conductors here, these wires inside, don't move as much. If this wasn't here, then this would move a lot, and where these conductors connect to these pins, they would move and move and move and move until very soon it would break. So we've reconnected that. We've tightened this. And what we'll do again, we'll make another test before we put the hood back on. We'll test to see if you still have no noise on the connector. So let me zoom back out. Okay. And we'll unmute the channel. And again, very clear still. 1, 2, good. So still, it's clear. So far, our efforts have been fruitful. Wait. So, good. It's a good thing we check. So we see that as this moves, we've got a noise being. We see that as we move that, we've got a noise being induced. Which is good, right? We saw that before we put the hood back on. So we can look at this. We can look at this to see. And I think I see the problem. At least with this problem right now. It might be difficult to see on camera. Let's zoom in. Let's see if you can see that. It's very difficult to see, but I'll point it out. I'll point it out here. This pin, this conductor for this pin is touching this as we move up up and down. I don't know if that's, oops, as we move up and down, don't know if that's causing our issue or not. But what we'll do to test it is we'll open this back up. See if we can find a bit of tape.
Yeah, we can tape behind you.
And then, and we don't have, forgive me, we don't have proper, well, I might have to edit this out. I may or may not, but we don't have the electrical tape with us.
I do have some red one, so you don't mind? You want
Okay, yeah, we'll use that. We'll use that. So I'll open this up while he goes to find the electrical tape, and we'll put tape between this conductor here, it's closest to the camera, and this brace for the connector, and see if that solves our problem. So let's zoom out a little bit so you can see us working. There we go. So the red tape there. So we will take off. How much do we need? Okay, let's see how much. Take off the electrical tape. Just a small amount. And install a little bit. Okay, change the approach. Install a little bit there. So now it's between. Forgive me, I should have made it shorter. Let's see.
You want to see that straight off the edge?
Yeah, we'll do that. Just use that.
Straight off the excess.
Yeah. Almost perfect. And so now, and again, I know some of you would have a better, neater way of doing this. Please comment. Don't mind. Please comment and tell us how you would have done this differently, and how you would have even approached the troubleshooting differently. We want to hear from you. Hope you can still see what I see. Yeah, you can still see. How you would have approached the troubleshooting differently. And we'll test this quickly again before we zoom out. Test this again. So we've put that insulation in place, but we're still getting, well, we were getting that noise. We're not getting it now, but we are. It's working. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we had a problem. Seems we fixed the problem. Let's check it. We'll check it a little bit further. Good. I think we fixed it. Mute the channel so that we can take.
Maybe that way you probably wrap the rest of the tape into place.
It could be. So now I noticed as I was connecting it, one of the problems is these two pins are bit too far apart. Right? So using our lineman's pliers, we're going to gently, very gently, very, very gently squeeze them together. Very gently. One of the things we could do is use our soldering iron and apply it to the pins here and here, so that this plastic softens a little. We could do that, but the challenge with doing that though is that you might soften too much and leave the hole that the pin slides through, leave that hole too large. In which case we'll have problem with the pins even staying in place. So we won't do that. Squeeze these gently. And let's put this back in place. We line up again. Can you see it? Yes. We line up the threaded hole of the internal part of the connector with the hole in the hood of the connector. Line it up. And if you can see it, this notch here on the internal part, can you see it? Let's see, bring it closer. This notch here on the internal part of the connector lines up with this little notch right there on the hood. So once we do that, that lines up with that. Slide it into place. Apply a little bit of pressure. Oops, apply a little bit of pressure to get those holes lined up. There you see the hole on the inside of the connector aligned with the hood of the connector. There. And we put the screw in. Again, that screw just locks the hood with the internal. And we'll test again. Now, you can probably see it again. What gave us trouble last time, and it might give us a little bit of trouble this time, since these pins are slightly further apart than we'd want them, it might give us a little bit of a challenge when we're trying to connect this male connector to a female. But let's give it a try. Zoom out. Sorry about that. I'll zoom out so you can see it. Forgot about the camera for a sec. Connected, no problem. I'm going to unmute. It's noisy again. So we still have a problem internally, as you can hear. And it's good to know that we have a problem still. So we'll open it back up. Open it up again. Let's. Yeah. Yeah, so it does seem as if this bracket here is contributing to the noise, but exactly how it's contributing to the noise This is right now a bit of a mystery. So, what I'll do again is I'll put that in place. And before we close it up, I'm going to connect this just as it is. Move it around to see if I can see what the problem is. So let's zoom back out. With that insulation firmly in place now. Oops. Okay. So, right. Bring down overall gain on the amp while we test. Unmute. That's nice and clean, which is a good sign. Now, if we hold the wires still and we move the metal bracket, we're not getting a pump. But as we move the cables themselves, we're getting quite a bit of noise when we move the cable towards the screw. So, oops. Should have muted that, plugged that. Since we know we're getting a problem as we move the wire towards the screw, we will, so as we move the wire up this way towards the screw, we have an issue. And apologies, we're going to use a light now, so it might be difficult, might be more challenging for you to see what we're doing. And if you could hold that. So as we move this up, we get a buzz. So as we move the cable this way, we get a buzz. I'm looking to see if maybe there's a short or connection that's being made and then released. We'll pull this back right now to see.
The metal bracket is touching the pins on the inside of the plastic. Is there somewhere possible?
Oh, in here? Yeah. Wait, you mean if this is touching?
Yeah.
Say again.
If this is touching the pins on the inside here, is it possible?
It is highly unlikely. Okay. The pins go through here. The pins just go straight through here. Yeah. This bracket goes into the connector here, but this bracket doesn't touch the pins internally. Also, when we move this back and forth, with this in place, we weren't getting any noise. But when we move this way, we were. So
connection looks solid. Is it something further away possible?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is possible. I'm wondering. So we move it this way.
Like if we know how the ground is twisted here. I mean, I don't
No.
know.
One thing we could try would be to disconnect this altogether and remove this part of the wire and reconnect somewhere here in case you're correct that there may be a problem right in here that we're not seeing visually. So we'll try that. we'll stop the recording right here. So we're back, and we we completely disconnected the connector, and we resoldered everything, reconnected everything, and now we're going to test to see if it works. Again, go. Cable 1, you probably can't see that clearly. Cable 1 off the snake head. The snake is open now, you see over there. We'll connect this here, connect the mic to 1 of the snake head, and then we'll connect this to our amp, and see if it works. Let's see. Okay. Unmute the channel, and yeah, no noise. And it works nice and clean. Let's see if we move the cable a little bit, you don't hear that noise. We realized that we had just higher than where the wires had been stripped on the inside. There was 2 of the wires were touching. The insulation was broken just above where we could see it. So that touching, not touching, not touching, that was causing barely touching, not touching, was causing our noise. But it's fixed now. Yeah. In fact, if you could see it, let me zoom in a little bit. I will zoom in a little bit. This wire here, that insulation right there, see where it's peeling off? Right there was touching the ground inside the connector. And that's what we repaired. If you enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe. Oh, and share.